yo, YouTube! This is my video for Thursday, the 7th of August, and I'm on my way now to what I'm calling a non-CX job, because this was the call I had yesterday afternoon from the shipper that did the work for on Monday and Wednesday morning, going to the same pickup point. But at this point I'm going to Blackburn, and it's a small van job. It's going to be one pallet, I'm guessing, and the loaded miles is 148.5, and I'm getting £145 for this job. The time now is 7:30, and I'm going to be on site in time for the 8 o'clock pickup. So today, being Thursday, is day 4 of my deliberately getting up early routine. I take it one day at a time. It was slightly easier today than it was yesterday. And then what I'm hoping to do is to get a decent sized job back from Blackburn, and I'm pretty optimistic I will do that, and then probably come home reasonably early, and then I'll be very happy with today. In my mind, what I'm focused on this week is my net income after Monday, which is because Monday paid for my business costs in one day for the week. On Wednesday I earned £154-ish. So if I could earn in the region of, let's say, £200 today and £200 tomorrow, let's say for the sake of argument, then over the last 2 weeks, if that is the case, I will have earned £350, about an average of £340 income for me each week. So if I made that into a monthly amount, that's plenty for me to live off. Just a quickie update: I've picked up my load from Sleaford. I'm now on my way to Blackburn. My ETA is around about 11:15, and I've just got one reasonably small item on board. It's not a car job, it's definitely a small van job, but for my van it's one what I would call a small item for my van. And I found out a bit more about it today, which is very interesting, and I found again the person loading me was really friendly, and I just thought, what a great job to do. I'm now just got a nice 3-hour drive to Blackburn. Hopefully it's nice, hopefully it's not going to be congested. At the moment Google Maps has given me a green time, which means there should be no expected congestion. And I'm just going to drive up, and then I'll be before midday ready to get another job coming back. And I'm getting paid, as I said before, basically just less than £1 a mile. But it's a really easy job. There's not really any handballing. It's one item. I could lift that item. I'm not going to, but I could do. And it just feels very satisfying. So yeah, I'm a very happy boy. I'm going to be optimistic today and hopefully get a decent job back from the northwest. And I'm going to aim to get back reasonably early, sort of not very late, and maybe have a lot of sort of an evening at home. So that would mean try and be back for about 5 or 6 if I can. So I'm going to try and head back with a job ASAP from the northwest. Right, and I'll let you know. Cheers. I have now got my second job of the day. It's been a bit of a struggle, I must say. Not because there's a lack of jobs where I am. I'm quite close to Preston. I'm actually between Blackburn and Preston, which is, I thought, a very good place. I'll stick a map up to show you where I was and what the other drivers were doing around me. And there was plenty of jobs I could bid on, and I just wasn't getting anything accepted. Some lovely jobs. I even did some jobs going from my area to sort of West London, Just didn't get any of them. I've got in the end a small job. It's picking up from Accrington, which is about 13 miles away, 13, and I'm delivering to Leeds. It's about 57.5 loaded miles. It is a small van job, one box apparently, and I'm just getting £50, 50 for it. Which, bearing in mind, I've been sitting here for about 45 minutes bidding on work. I'm pleased to have that in the bag. It just adds a little bit to my total for today, and I'll be in Leeds, which should be an okay place to get a job. I'll be in Leeds at about 2 o'clock. So I'm hopeful still. I think pricing wise, it would appear that I need to be bidding in the region of £1.10 for a long wheelbase van job, around about 90p for a short wheelbase van job, and probably something like 80p, 85p for a small van job for distance jobs. I wasn't bidding quite that low at this point, which is why I wasn't getting the work. And when I get to Leeds, I'll give it a quick go at the prices I want to be paid, but then I'll go down to those prices, within about 15 minutes if I need to. I could cobble together another small job heading back sort of southwards, just go home early. That wouldn't be a bad day for me. It wouldn't be quite as much as I want to earn, but I'd rather get something a bit more meaty than that. So 2 o'clock in Leeds should give me the opportunity to earn a reasonable amount still. But this job, I had to take this really. So yeah, I'll update you how it goes. Cheers. Been quite an up and down last hour or so. I was struggling to get a job from Leeds, but in the end I've just picked up a load going from Leeds to Nottingham. It's a single box, small van job. I was about 10 minutes drive away from where I'd parked up to get to the pickup point, and I managed to get, for a 75-mile job, £60. And not only that, it's actually taken me pretty much directly towards my home. So this will be my last job of the day. There was a variety of options of stuff I could bid on. I was bidding on stuff locally, going to sort of London, a couple of London jobs, and not getting anything. This particular job, I thought I'd have a good chance of getting because I was so close to it, and I bid what I thought was the correct price. So £60 for 75 miles loaded for a small van job. I was 10 minutes away, and luckily, after a bit of anxious waiting, about 5 minutes or so, I got the call and was offered the job. So I'm really pleased to have got this now. So it brings my earnings for the day gross to 255, which should mean I'll be close to £200 net, which was what I was trying to achieve at the start of the day. And I'll be home reasonably early. I think I'll be in Nottingham about 5 o'clock-ish, maybe just beyond. And depending on traffic, I should be about an hour and a half late. So let's say 6:30 home quite easily, which I'm pleased about. I'm quite tired now. It is quite warm today. So our next job now, as I'm driving towards Nottingham, is to try and find a decent job for the morning to round off my week. So I'll let you know my stats on my next video, and then hopefully by that point I will have got a job for tomorrow as well. Cheers. So I've got a little bit of feedback for you. When I was looking for my last job in Leeds, I was getting quite keen to get a job, and I was quite keen to go quite a long distance. And a job did come up from Leeds to North London, and I looked on the map. It was quite far north, so it would have been the right side of London for me to get home, and it was about 225 miles loaded for a small, I can't remember if it's a small van or not. Let's assume small van. So that was a perfect job for me. So my initial bid was £200, which I just did like straight away just to get something in place. And then I was looking at it a bit more, looked at the map, made sure I was, how far away I was from the pickup and then drop off. And then I looked at the company's feedback, and I do that most of the time if I get a chance. If it's a new company, particularly if it's a new company, its payment terms were about 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. So I thought that's good. But then surprisingly, in the last 90 days, it had something like 12 non-payments and 15 neutral feedbacks, which is pretty high. I've never really seen that before. So I immediately changed my bid to 225, just to kind of mitigate a little bit the hassle of doing this job. And then I had a look through the comments, and would you believe it, that the last comment was from Dave Anvil saying worst effect of late payment again. And there are other comments below that. So that was the last comment ever given, as opposed to only the bad comments. There was a couple of good ones, and then there was some of the bad ones saying no payments, need to chase this 3 weeks behind. And I saw that and I thought, I can't really take the risk. So I did what I thought was the sensible thing, and I removed my bid. And I decided that, although in the past I'd have gone for that, I don't need to chase money quite so much now than I feel I had to in the past. And so I think in hindsight now, I feel quite pleased that I did remove that bid, because that's a hell of a lot of the total number of feedbacks in the last 9 days was about 200, so it was a large proportion of the total feedbacks produced. So there's something going on with that company, and I didn't want to be part of it. I wouldn't be surprised if quite soon they end up being removed from the platform. So I have learnt, I have developed, I have evolved with my experience of using CX, and I'm making decisions now that are better for me. And there's an example of one. Right, it's 20 to 6. I will do my stats now and be home in about an hour. So I did get some more fuel today. So I've got an updated average fuel price of 13.73 pence per mile. Today I will have driven a total of 383 miles, 383, and I will have worked, by the time I get home, a total today of 11.5 hours. I've managed to cobble together from 3 CX jobs £255, 255, and I've only spent on fuel today £52.59. So I'll round that up to £53, which means that my net income for today is £202, which is what I was hoping to achieve at the start of today. So I'll go pleased with that, and I won't be home that late. And then tomorrow we go again. I haven't managed to get myself a job for tomorrow, so I'll have to get up early and look for a job in the morning. I've got 2 bids out, but they've been on for ages, so it's unlikely I'm going to get those now. But it will depend somewhat on this first job I get tomorrow as to whether I can achieve the same amount tomorrow. So, thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope that you are all being successful. Have you chosen to find that word for yourselves? I'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Farewell, friends.